Well, hello, everyone. This is Todd Smith. So I want to dive right into the reason that you're here and the reason that I'm here, and that is to cover a very important subject, 30 ways to earn people's respect. This is such an important subject because every part of your life is influenced by how you are viewed by others. Your home life, your personal life, your career, your Unicity business, every part of your life is affected. And one of the things that I've learned is if you want the wind to start blowing at your back, then start focusing on doing the things to improve how you are viewed. This will also be referenced tonight several times as your personal brand. But let me kind of start off by kind of framing this and by talking about leadership and what leadership is. We all are leaders, whether we recognize it or not, and we're going to talk about how respect influences that. But leadership expert Ken Blanchard said, the key to successful leadership is influence, not authority. He's not alone in his thinking. John Maxwell, who has written more best-selling books on leadership than any other author, said, leadership is one word, influence. Over the last 3 years, I have spent more time learning about and watching leadership in action than at any point in my life. It has become clear that leadership is one word, influence. And the way that you become a person of influence is 2 words, respect and likability. If you want to be a person of influence, then people must like you and respect you. If you want influence at home, your spouse and children must like and respect you. If you want influence at work, the people that you work with must like and respect you. If you want influence at school, the people that you go to school with, whether it be your teachers or fellow students, must like and respect you. Very few things will influence your value to the market, your self-esteem, and your personal relationships more than doing the little things that positively impact how people feel about you. Now, let's take a look at becoming likable because it's not what many people think. When we think about being likable, so often people think of such things as kissing butt, being extra cheerful, or other disingenuous or fake things to get people to like them. This is especially true as we're young in school. When people try to be liked, it actually hurts them. Not only does it hurt them because people can intuitively sense their lack of genuineness, but it also hurts their self-esteem because they are not living with integrity. I know a lot of adults living in depression today for this very reason. Here are the correct definitions of likability. Easy to like, having a pleasant or appealing qualities, being friendly, having qualities that bring about a favorable regard, being pleasant. If you question the importance of being likable to have influence, are you drawn to likable people? When given a choice between 2 equal candidates for a position, would you choose the person you like more? When hiring a painting contractor, realtor, or insurance agent, are you more likely to select the person you like the most? Now, let's take a look at becoming respected. It's more than what you think. Every day, you are sending hundreds of messages out to the world that play a role in how people see you and feel about you. Take a simple email as an example. Here are just a few factors that people intuitively notice that impact your personal brand in their minds. How soon it is returned. Did you address them by name? Were you friendly? Did you proof your email? Was it properly formatted? Was it clear and to the point? The overall tone, was it pleasant and positive? Think about this. Every interaction you have with people has multiple components, each impacting how others feel about you. If you are meeting people in a business setting, here are just a few of the factors that people immediately notice. Were you on time? Your appearance? How you greeted them? Were you friendly? Did you remember their name? Did you show an interest in them? Were you prepared? Certainly as well, the clarity and tone in which you speak. Do you value the opinions of others? Do you listen without interrupting? Is your attention diverted to your mobile device? The fact is there are hundreds of little things that you do each day that play a role in how people see you and feel about you that ultimately impacts the level of respect they have for you. The reason I say there are hundreds of little things is because I have more than 300 little things on my list that impact people's respect for one another. As, let me just take a look at something here. Here's something that, a lot of times people feel negative toward others who view them negatively. If you don't feel liked or respected by someone, there's a 99% chance that you've given him or her a reason to feel that way about you. It's generally not their fault they feel negatively about you. It's that you have given them a reason to feel that way. So think about that next time you're kind of getting bad vibes from somebody. Ask yourself, what did I do that would cause them to have felt that way about me? So let's dive into the 30 ways to earn people's respect. First of all, respect others. Respect is a two-way street. You can't expect people to respect you if you don't respect them. When you treat people with respect, not only will you increase your odds of earning their respect, but you will also earn the respect of those watching. Number 2, respect yourself. If you don't respect yourself, you can't hope that others will respect you. Avoid speaking poorly of yourself, even when you have made a mistake or done something foolish. If you will implement the points that I'm covering tonight, your self-respect will soar. Number 3, be a person of integrity. You can spend a lifetime building a reputation and kill it in 30 seconds by crossing the line and doing something that you shouldn't have done. The best way to keep from having anyone question your integrity is by not giving them a reason to question it. Number 4, improve your written communication skills. In today's electronic age, one of the primary ways we are branding ourselves is through our typed words. Have you ever stopped to think that every email, text message, or post on a social media site makes an impression on someone? Each of these impressions play an important role in defining your personal brand. And in this day and age, and here in 2015, I believe our written communication skills are more important than they've ever been, and they're going to continue to be very important. And for Jay, your children who are on the phone here tonight, this is one of the areas in school that I never excelled in, which was English, and I can tell you that it was the single most important subject that I wish I would have excelled in, because it's the one subject that I continue to use here today, as a 52-year-old, many years after getting out of high school. Number 5, be on time. When you are on time for a scheduled meeting, call, or appointment, you demonstrate your respect for people's time. You also show that you honor your commitments and that you are dependable and can be trusted. When you are late, you do the exact opposite and undermine your ability to quickly build a valued relationship. Number 6, make your greeting stand out. When you meet people for the first time or greet them for the 10th time, you have an opportunity to make a positive impression on them. Here's the key. Take 10 seconds and make them feel like they are the most important person on this earth. Look them in the eyes with warmth and authenticity and offer them a friendly greeting. If appropriate, give them a firm handshake or hug. Number 7, show an interest in people. Think about it. Are you drawn to people who show an authentic interest in you? When you show an interest in others and the things that are important to them, they will like you. And when combined with the other points on this list, they will like and respect you. Number 8, listen with interest. Being a good listener is one of the most important skills you can master if you want to advance your career and build meaningful relationships. When you really, really listen, you demonstrate your interest in what's being said and show your respect for the individual saying it. And I can tell you this is an area that a lot of people struggle in. And, listening with interest also means that waiting until somebody stops talking before you talk. I call that the 2-second rule. Make sure they're done. Wait 2 seconds before you respond. And then that way you're never interrupting anyone. Number 9, demonstrate personal initiative. Your personal initiative is your inner power that starts all action. It's the enemy of procrastination. It's the spark that initiates your productive actions. Napoleon Hill talked about this personal initiative at length in his 9th principle of success. He said, "Success is something you must achieve without someone telling you what to do or why you should do it." Let me just read that quote one more time. He said, "Success is something you must achieve without someone telling you what to do or why you should do it." Number 10, do your job with excellence. One of the top ways to earn respect is taking pride in what you do. Adopt the following personal philosophy. If I'm going to have my name attached to doing something, it will be accomplished to the absolute best of my ability. And again, for those of you who are young on this call here tonight, do your school with excellence. Adopt this attitude that everything you do, you're going to do it with the absolute best of your ability. One of the things that I told my kids when they were young is that it takes a long time from the compounding effect of doing things right before the winds really do begin to blow at your back, before you really begin to be someone who is of high value and therefore a person who can earn a high level of income. It takes time, and the sooner you start, the better off you'll be. Number 11, do what is expected of you. This means returning all calls, text messages, and phone calls in a timely manner. It means being on time and prepared for all appointments and finishing all projects and tasks on time. If you represent that you're going to do something, then do it, and do it in the time frame that is expected. Big point there. Number 12, don't complain without making an effort to improve things. If you feel the need to complain about something, make sure you are prepared to present a well-thought-out solution. And even then, be careful how you position your complaint. Leaders are problem solvers, not complainers. 13, look for opportunities to stand out. If someone is running behind on an important project, volunteer to help him or her out. If there's a problem with something, volunteer to get to the bottom of it. Be willing to come in early, stay late, and work on a weekend if something needs to get done. Look for the things you can do to get noticed for going above and beyond your normal responsibilities. Number 14, volunteer to lead. If a project needs spearheading, be the first to volunteer. The more that you do to step up into a leadership role, the more likely it is that you'll be viewed as one who leads. And ultimately, you'll have the ability to impact decisions and influence others. And again, for those of you who are youngsters on tonight's call, again, in school, look for opportunities to lead. The sooner you begin leading, the sooner you begin learning what leaders do, and as this compounds over time, obviously it can have a tremendous influence on your life. Number 15, build a great team. The brand of people under your leadership affects your personal brand. If you want to be respected as a 360-degree leader, and that's somebody who influences everybody around them, then lead by example and build a great team of people individually who are striving for excellence. Remember, great leaders challenge people to perform at higher levels than they normally would without the benefit of a leader. And I certainly learn a lot by looking at people and the teams that they're able to build. Number 16, maintain a positive attitude. Let's face it, we all like to be around people who have a positive attitude. It's easy to have an outlook, a good outlook when things are going well, but it's the people who can maintain a positive attitude during stressful times or when handling negative situations are the ones who are admired most. Number 17, Communicate using people's preferred method of communication. This is something I am intentional about every single day. Think about this. What is your preferred method of communicating with others? Is it email, texting, talking over the phone, meeting face-to-face, chatting back and forth through some social media site or through some app? Just as you have a preferred method of communication, so does everyone else. Pay attention to people's preferred method of communication and consider what they prefer when you need to communicate with them. Number 18, acknowledge people. When you acknowledge people, you recognize their value and importance. How about hugging your children before they go to school? Or saying good morning to your coworkers as you walk through the office? Or saying hi to an acquaintance that you see dining at another table in a restaurant? When you go out of your way to acknowledge people, you will make a positive impression on them. Number 19, offer genuine compliments. When people take the time to offer you a sincere compliment, how does it make you feel about them? Are you naturally drawn to people who speak positively of you? When you take an extra 10 seconds to offer people a genuine compliment, your interest in them and what I was saying, let me just put my note here. It says, when you take an extra 10 seconds to offer people a genuine compliment, your interest in them can have a far bigger impact than what you know. So anyhow, that was a screwed up sentence in my notes here. Sorry about that. Number 20, encourage people. When you encourage others, think about this. You lift their spirits. You enhance their personal self-confidence, and you add fuel to their motivational fire. Perhaps more than anything else, you give them hope and inspiration. Wow, think about it. If simple words of encouragement can do so much to enhance someone's life, why don't we all do more of it? I mean, think about it. How long does it take? 10 seconds? I know for me that's one of my personal challenges, and I have to be extra intentional about encouraging others, and it's amazing what happens when I do. Number 21, acknowledge special events in people's lives. When you take the effort to remember important dates in people's lives, such as their birthdays, anniversaries, religious holidays, or perhaps even the anniversary of a loved one's death, your efforts will be noticed. Number 22, watch for potential misunderstandings. If you choose to accept 100% responsibility for all misunderstandings, something interesting will happen. You'll begin to see warning signs that you previously overlooked. It may be a look on someone's face, a comment they make, a distraction in the background, or something else that will give you pause to wonder if there's a potential misunderstanding brewing. Number 23, embrace feedback and criticism. If you're listening tonight, you likely want to get better. If you want to get better and increase people's respect for you, be open to the feedback of others, even if it isn't given with love. People who can control their emotions and take feedback and criticism without getting defensive earn my respect. Number 24, first do what you don't want to do. As you plan your day, make sure you block out time to first do the things that require the most discipline. Whether it's prospecting, exercising, or cleaning the home, do it first. It may be doing homework when you come home from school. Do it first. I have learned over the last 34 years that the best times to do things that we don't want to do is first thing in the morning. If you will commit to doing the things that are hardest for you to do first, not only will you do them with greater consistency, but you'll feel great the rest of the day. Number 25, always begin a call by introducing yourself. When you place a call to someone, always start by introducing yourself to whomever is answering the phone. Don't make them guess who's calling. The same is true when someone's calling you. When someone calls me, I always answer the phone. This is Todd. It could even be somebody calling me on the buzzer in my condo. I always answer the phone the same way. This is Todd. I want them to know who it is. There's nothing I need to hide about not telling them who I am. I don't want people guessing. Number 26, know when to not use your hands-free device when talking on your phone. If you're having an important conversation, regardless of whether it's with your spouse, friend, or prospective client, speak directly in the phone. When speaking to a prospective customer or a customer, always try to speak directly in the phone. The truth is, it's one of the reasons why I don't have a hands-free device, is because when I'm talking to people who are on hands-free devices, I feel like I'm always struggling trying to hear what they have to say. So keep that in mind. I mean, if you're on an important call, get rid of the hands-free device, even if that means you need to pull your car over and speak directly into the phone. And also, when you're speaking directly in the phone, keep your phone still. There's so many times that people I'm talking to are speaking into the phone, but they're moving the phone, and I can't hear them at times. So, again, take pride in all of your communication. Number 27, speak with a confident tone. Whether you realize it or not, you are presenting your personal brand every time you have a conversation with someone. If you want to brand yourself as a self-assured professional, then you need to sound confident, but not so confident that you sound arrogant. There's a difference there. Speak with confidence, not arrogance. Number 28, look good. The first impression you make on people creates a lasting impression, and it begins by the way that we look. A good appearance includes the way that you groom yourself and the clothing or jewelry that you wear. All of these little things combine to form your overall look. So, again, it's, people do judge. I mean, and it's not even an intentional thing. It's people notice. I mean, you notice when somebody walks by you. You notice, people in your life. You notice what they wear. It's not that you're judging them. You're just simply noticing them. And so as you notice them, they're noticing you. And this is all part of how they view you, which is your personal brand. Number 29, be clear and concise in your communications. A significant component of becoming successful, both personally and professionally, is learning how to communicate your message in a personable and friendly manner, while at the same time being clear, concise, and direct in your message. It's hard to respect people who don't get to the point. I mean, I don't know how many times I've had conversations with people where I'm listening to them and I'm like, what's the point? I don't even understand what you're talking about. So again, when you're having a communication with somebody, be clear. If you're talking to one person at a table and there's somebody there that is overhearing the conversation but doesn't understand what you're talking about, make sure you include them. Explain to them what you're talking about so that they can have some understanding of the conversation that you're having. And better yet, if you're around somebody who doesn't understand something and you're with a friend who you guys want to talk about some great event, when you have people at the table or others around you, have conversations that everybody could be participant in. Number 30, and I know I talked about this one earlier, but I want to just reinforce it again and maybe in a little different way, and that is return emails, phone calls, text messages, party invitations. Do this in a timely manner. I put a post on my Facebook page, Little Things Matter, this last week, and this post was shared by over 140 people. This was just a simple post that I put on my Facebook page that was shared by over 140 people, and it was talking about this point, about returning phone calls, emails, text messages, and party invitations in a timely manner. And why did it get such a response? It's because it's one of people's pet peeves. And what most people don't understand is that if they're not responsive to the people who are communicating with them, the people who are communicating with them are going to lose a degree of respect for them. I mean, if you've set up an Evite and you're hosting a party, the people who can't even respond to that party invitation, how do you view them? I mean, probably not in a positive way. And the same is true when you're trying to communicate with somebody. You're calling them, you're sending them an email, you're texting them, not responding. How do you view them? Probably not in a positive way. And if it doesn't influence how you view them, understand that most people it does. And so this is a big thing in this day and age. Be responsible. When people send you an email, I believe that most people are looking for a response in 24 hours, even if it's nothing more than, hey, I got your email, I'll get back to you in the next couple of days, I'm buried on a project. At least acknowledge their email. All right, well, we got 5 minutes here, so I'm going to go ahead and, since I got 300 things, I'll go ahead and give you 5 more quick ones. So here's five bonus tips. Number one bonus tip, think before you speak. People who just run their mouths are seldom respected. This is huge. I don't know of one single person from any walk of life who is viewed as being successful who runs their mouth nonstop. One of the fastest ways to lose people's respect is to run your mouth and say something inappropriate. So just think before you speak. 32, don't discount anyone's comments. Don't dismiss an idea just because it originates from someone who has a different point of view. Remember, everyone is different, and the ability to think differently can spark creativity and innovation. There's just no way you can improve yourself or grow your business if you don't value the ideas of others. And one of the things I continue to learn, even as I'm working on generating sales and leads, I'm continuing to learn that it's impossible to think like other people. And the more that you can understand how they think, the more that you can communicate with them and the more value you can bring to their life. So really one of your goals should be to try to understand how people think so that you can better communicate with them, better build better relationships with them, better market to them. So again, just a little side comment there. Number 33, or the third bonus tip, learn how to give constructive feedback. Giving constructive feedback is a skill that managers and leaders practice and work hard to perfect. It's hard. I even struggle with it. But when you have to give feedback, make sure you're thoughtful. When you give any type of feedback that you think may hurt someone, think about how you can position it with love. Your goal is to help them, not hurt them. And this is especially true in parenting, figuring out a way to give feedback to your children that doesn't hurt them. I mean, one of the things that I'm learning now that my children are all grown up and out of the house is things that I said to them that they still remember, both good and bad. And, it's very important as you give anybody feedback to understand that, you have the ability to positively influence their life or to scar their life. So be thoughtful as it relates to how you give your feedback. Bonus tip number 4, or 34, however you're looking at it tonight. Stay focused on your commitments. Making a commitment to do what you do, whether it's in your personal life or professional life, is one of the most fundamental principles of success, whether it's a relationship or a marriage, or it doesn't matter, a job or career venture, fitness or your health, a personal improvement goal. The bottom line is you're going to feel like quitting. When you represent that you're going to do something, whether you represent it to yourself or to someone else, do it to the best of your ability and do it on time. This is a very important point. I mean, one of the things, the number one factor why people fail to fulfill their commitments is a lack of discipline. When it gets time to do what they don't want to do, they're unwilling to push themselves forward, and that's why one of the most important keys to success is having the discipline to do what you know you should do every day, even when you don't feel like doing it. Last tip, number 35, the way you talk about others. This includes the way you talk about your spouse, your children, your coworkers, players on your team, and everyone else in your life. I learn a lot about people by listening to them talk about other people. And what I learn influences my respect for them. When I'm hearing a guy talk about his wife with disrespect or talk about his kids with disrespect or anyone with disrespect, I just can't help but kind of, tilt my head a little sideways and think, why are you saying these things? And so, again, be very thoughtful about how you speak about others. And, my wife and I we have a very strong belief, and that is, speaking positive things about ourselves. I mean, just like tonight, I started to think, at 10 o'clock, I'm always tired when I do these calls. And, I'm always kind of stumbling and not as sharp as I would be if I'm doing them earlier. That's kind of then, and say, no, Todd, don't think those thoughts. Hey, get on this call, do your best. It's 10 o'clock, yes, but do your best and get yourself fired up and get on there and do it. And so what we say to ourselves really does have a monster influence on our lives and what we say about others. I mean, it's my wife says, hey, let's not speak negative things over them. Let's not speak negative things over ourselves. So, again, a very important point. So my challenge as we wrap up here tonight, if you want to be a leader and a person of influence, then focus on the person you need to be viewed in that regard. Start today becoming the person you need to be so that you can be the leader you want to be. If you are someone who really wants to get better, let me encourage you to read my blog at littlethingsmatter.com. So to remember, to lead people, you must be a person of influence. To be a person of influence, you must be someone people like and respect.